The Life of Lord Mahavira, Refuge to the Demon King, Part 2 of 6, on Between Master and Disciples, given in English on August 25, 2019, in New Land Ashram, Taiwan, also known as Formosa.
The physical intercourse between man and woman, that's one of the methods of practice. But don't try. Only those who have family already then try to limit it. And even if you have to do it, mostly for the purpose of having children for some reason. But even then, sex is not for recreation. Sex is not for physical enjoyment. Sex is not even for love. It's for enlightenment. Truly, it is for enlightenment. God has given us this physical mean, but then many people abuse it. Most people abuse it for self-pleasure. It's not for pleasure. It is for enlightenment, truly like that. In India, there are some schools that teach tantric yoga. If it's a real tantric yoga, they include the studying of the physical contact with the opposite sex. But you must control it. You just perform the physical action, but you do not continue until the end. You have to stop before it ends. Then all your energy will rise up and you could see the light. You could even hear the inner self at that moment or a little afterward. It's not immediately, maybe not. Maybe not when you stop the highest peak of the action, yeah? So you do not waste your energy and your physical stamina as well as physical precious energy, and spiritual energy as well that comes with that. This method hardly can be taught and hardly can be learned. But if you want to try, you can. If you're married, you can try that. See how you feel afterward. Then you can believe what I'm saying. Okay? You can see the light flood into you or flash into you. Hear the sound, overwhelmingly strong and beautiful. But it doesn't last forever because it's difficult for you to remain in samadhi after that. You still feel very exciting. You still feel this arousal of some sensation and desire. Just you put it under control only. That method hardly found any good master to teach. Some so-called teacher and master make use of that for problem, for abusing the pleasure of it. I have met one. I didn't try anything with him, please don't think nonsense. He was a Tibetan monk from England, but he studied with a Tibetan master. The master was probably good. Maybe he was good as well. But his wife stayed behind in England and teaching this method after learning. And then he told me that she's not really teaching it. She's just making use of that for her own desirous pleasure. And that, he told me, influenced him, affect him even all the way to India. I forgot all this long time already, but now I talk about this, I remember this incident. I met him in Dharamsala, where the Dalai Lama resides, and many monks, nuns, schools to teach monks and nuns and lay people about Buddhism. Yes, it's a beautiful place. And all the hills are covered with rhododendron when it's time. All the hills are covered, beautiful, beautiful places. I could stay there forever. because the house they are very cheap. Actually, it's a mud house, and many holes on the wall and a hole on the roof. You have to find a corner where the rain cannot come in. But the scorpion and snake can still come in and sit with you. Maybe they wanted also to become Buddha. Same direction with me, so they did not bite me at all. Sometimes I wake up from sleep or somebody, I have to remove them carefully. Don't try that. If you go to Himalaya, you want to remove them, you bring a bag with you for the snake, okay? Snake, they like to crawl in the bag. They won't harm you if you give them a bag. But with a stick, long stick, okay, and open the bag with the other end of the stick and slowly let him go in. Use your mind to tell him, please come in there. It's warmer, it's nicer, it's better there, it's safer. If you have this mind power. Otherwise, just wait patiently. Don't move too fast. And the scorpion is easier, You can use a small cup or something and put him inside and slide a piece of paper or cardboard underneath and put him in a big rock. They like that. Same with centipede. Yeah, same with all these kind of insects. They will not harm you. Well, I hope. I hope. They did not harm me, but I'm not sure, okay, about others. They did harm the person next to me. As I told you before, I slept on top of the mud house, the roof, and there are several of them also. There's one lady, a young girl next to me. Oh, they beat her in black and blue. We rushed him to emergency quick. I don't know, I left for Rishikesh after that, so I didn't know what happened to her. I think she'll be okay. I think in India they should have some preparation for this kind of incident because there's a lot of them everywhere. So they probably are prepared somewhere in the ashram or small hospital, In Rishikesh, it's not that easy to find a hospital or something, so probably they have some homemade remedy or something like that, huh? We were talking about Dharamsala. Yeah, he told me that she affected him from London because of the things he's doing. It's not proper. And he's a monk. She was not. Whatever. And then she teach that type. But she could not control herself. She has not reached a perfect control to teach and to control herself. That's why I told you it's a very dangerous method. Or maybe she has reached perfection to control herself, fine. But then because she took in disciples and too much karma that weakened her resistance or mastery of her own practice. That could happen also. But her husband, the monk, the Tibetan monk, was not teaching any disciple and still studying with another teacher at that time. He took me to see his teacher also. And he shook his head and said, you should not look down upon this woman. At that time, I was wearing long hair. I wore a Hindu monk's robe, but I wasn't officially initiated into Hindu monk later, much later. Or is it before or after? That was before I became Hindu monk under the Giri tradition, the old, very old tradition. But I did not really wear monk robe, it's just a robe, in the monk's color. Because I'm worried if I wear those normal dress, I will invite trouble for myself. I did sometimes before or after, I forgot. So I went to a library to look for sutras, to borrow, to read at home. And the Tibetan community under the Dalai Lama gracious direction, they also even opened a library in English. I did not ask for other languages, but I'm sure they have some also for Tibetan or Chinese. But in English we have. And you just sign your name and then you borrow a book. The next time you come, you return it and borrow another book. And I was searching around looking, and this monk came behind me. I was in the tantric section. At that time, I didn't know what tantric was. I just saw that the sutra, practice. So I read all the books already. So I was just in that section, but I did not even pick out any book yet. I was just looking, and the monk came behind me and asked me if I want to practice tantric yoga. And I asked him, what is it? So he kind of generally explained, it's a different. It's not in a very clear term of what it is, So he said if I want to practice tantric yoga, he can introduce to me, a teacher. Oh, I said, I'm not sure yet. I'm just looking around. I'm not sure what I wanted really. First, I have to study what it is in order to know whether or not I like to practice it. I'm Buddhist, I told him. I'm Buddhist and Catholic. I told him that, both. And then we talked, and then, I don't know, he followed me or not. I don't know. We met again somehow. And then one day, he asked me where I live. I say, over there in that forest, in a mud house, together with some other practitioners. Not together with them, I have my own. Each one ran a little room, together. It's actually quite cheap. The Tibetan community, they made them for practitioners who come to see the Dalai Lama, for example. Yeah, so it's not like they make money or anything. Maybe that's why they could not repair the walls with holes and the roof with leaking, yes. And I had to cook for myself and all that, yeah. So not that 84,000 methods, we can practice all of them. If you really don't want to follow any master, then just follow the Buddha, the precept, yeah. Study the sutra, stay alone, follow the precept. At least if you don't go out and interact with anybody, then the 5 precepts or 10 precepts good enough for you. And being vegan, okay? Live like a monk or a nun, without harming anyone, without doing anything that might make yourself vulnerable to the attack of the energy of bad people. Always remember the Buddha's name. Any name you choose. There are many Buddhas. You choose one that appeals to you. When I first begin to practice at home, I just read the sutra and recite one Buddha after another. Today, Kristigaba, tomorrow, Amitabha, next day, Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. But most of my life before, as a lay person, I like Kuan Yin Bodhisattva because of her very great compassion, and always available, according to the sutra, So I always call on her, whenever I remember or whenever I'm in trouble. She did help. I have to thank her a lot, always thank her a lot. At that time, when I was young, I went to the temple and also went to the church, I went to temple, became a temple scout, like youth scout. We do something like scouts do, but that's all. It's not much. The monks there did not teach me much. We just being a scout, that's it. And every Sunday we gather together, go into the forest or go into something, do some adventure stuff and learning how to react in the jungle, in the wild or something like that, and try not to step on insects and stuff like that. Why did I tell you this? I don't know. Why was that?
Because the Kuan Yin method is most convenient.
Most convenient, all right, convenient method. Yeah. Because you only listen to your own self-nature, okay? You need no action outside. You need not do anything. It's your own nature. So it was good that I just had this example, right in my pocket and pull it out to you. Otherwise, I wouldn't know how to tell you. It's from my own experience, in the Dharamsala. Oh, my God. Because his master tell him that I am something very good. Yeah. So maybe that's why I think he wanted something from me, which I did not know I have at that time. If he asked for my blessing, and if I knew I had it, I would have blessed him. I didn't know anything. I was just fumbling in my own darkness to find the light. I think he knows. His master told him something that I don't understand in Tibetan. So he thinks I'm something good. So he wants the more contact, the deeper contact, so that he can get the blessing or something like that. So after that, if I see him, I just avoid. I went somewhere else and talked to somebody. So then I don't see him anymore a lot afterward. Now, every method that maybe you encounter from your teacher or master somewhere, it could lead you to liberation in normal circumstances, provided your teacher is a master of that method. Then he can transmit it to you, the same quality, the same enlightening quality that he has. Yeah? But if this master is not yet stable, maybe he just reached the mastership, but he did not have the power to sustain it. Or if he has too many disciples, then he cannot be that stable. That's why in the old time, many teachers never take a lot of disciples. Many followers maybe, but not a lot of disciples. Like the Zen tradition, Master Bodhidharma, he sat for a long time, facing the wall, alone. But he took only 5 disciples. Remember? 5. And only one of them became his successor. Remember that? Or you know or not know?
Yes.
Oh, well, I don't know if I read you that story of Bodhidharma. No? Yes or no?
Yes.
Before, yeah? Okay. The full story or just simple? Never mind, next time. Maybe. Even 5 of his disciples, only one of them really get to the bottom of what the truth is from Bodhidharma. And he really was a master. Bodhidharma was a master. 5 disciples only. A lot of people follows him, of course, because many miracles happen around him and because of him and from him. Yeah, but only 5 disciples he has. And only one of them truly get the essence of the Dharma. The other 4 just answer nonsense. Even you answer better than that. I'm so sorry. Sorry, Bodhidharma. He knew it. Anyway, there's the truth, right? If you read his story, you know that. One of them answered something, he said, oh, you only outside the skin. And the other one say only hair or whatever. And only one is really inside his bones, meaning he correctly understood the teaching that imparted to him. That's why the Bodhidharma, after that, he left, went back to India. I think they buried him in the coffin, but it's not, he left. He left with his body as well. There are some methods you can study and learn, that you can keep your body also. And you can come in and out of heaven as well, at will. Even the normal astral king can teach you that, how to keep your body and take it away anywhere you want, without people seeing. And normally, some people can also disappear, like disintegrate into the air and you don't find them, or hide themselves behind the sun rays, behind the wind, behind the air. Yes, can do all that. Just take a long time to practice. I had all that. I had to forsake it so that I can do what I'm doing. Actually, in original spiritual term, we don't call that magical power. The magical power from the lower level, from the 3rd level, 2nd level to the astral level. That's what we call magical power. But higher than that, we call them wonders. Wonders. And the master of higher level, they have 6 wonders. Like they can disappear They can go through walls. They can unlock the door. They can fly in the air. They can make fire, flame, for example, like that. But these look similar to the astral level magic, but they are not. Because if the master had to use it, she doesn't owe anything to the astral world. But the normal magicians, like some of the magicians, you know, right? They practice them. They owe this power to the astral world or the second world, mostly astral world. So they cannot be liberated. If they use their power, they stay within the control of the astral hierarchy. So that's why the Buddha Shakyamuni precisely forbid his disciple to use any magical power, because he knows they learned it before they met him, and they can only learn it through the astral master. Some astral beings can come to this world for a period of time. I told you already, I think in Hungarian retreat. Yes? Okay. And then they can teach you also, if you're good to them. Truly like that. Some fairy, angels, gods from a lower order, they come. And if you help them in some way, whether or not they tested you or you just help them because you are kind in their need while they are in the physical body, then they can repay you, very amply, So you hear many stories before, like a poor person helps somebody in need, and suddenly that person say, okay, I give you 3 wishes, 3 boons. Tell me what you need, and I give it to you, etc., etc. These are not just fairy tales or housewives' tale. They are true story. Okay, maybe add in a little bit salt and pepper here and there, but they are true story. Okay, you could even meet some astral being or second level being or third being on the street. You would never know. You would not know, because they look just like us. Yes. They can manifest themselves like a human or animals or anything they want, trees. Yeah. When Guru Nanak was young, he slept under a tree. And one of the observers noticed that the tree shade keep following him because the sun shining on him and the sun keep moving. So the tree shade keep moving to protect him. Yeah. For example, like that. So the best is that you don't care who is who. Respect everyone. I, myself, personally, respect all of you, all the people outside, all the worst disciples that I ever had also. If I have to take care of them in some not gentle way, please understand. They need that. Okay? Just like you have children at home, sometimes they're too rough, too mischievous. You have to use some ungentle way to trim them. Because you never know. As the disciples, you think you're perfect. Or at least you think you're okay. You're not. Many of you are not. Okay? 64% of you are good, I said to you. Good meaning not harmful to me. But the other percent are quite a handful. Because they think they're okay. But they do not realize they are not okay. Yes. They do not realize it. They did not mean to be even proud or arrogant. They truly think they are okay. But there are things they do, things that they thought, concept that they have, action that they perform are not okay. But according to them, they think it's okay. Thus, making more and more trouble for themselves and for me to have to take care. Okay? So these so-called initiates or disciples should reflect inside, find more time to meditate, to really check inside yourself. Not check me or check your neighbors or your fellow initiates, but check inside yourself. have this opportunity not to be too busy, going to retreat or going to group meditation, going to do charity work or anything, just take care of yourselves. Be good to yourself so that you can climb up together with other people.